For head coach Joey Meyer and the DePaul Blue Demons, the 1991 season was one of big-time wins, torrid win streaks, and once again unparalleled success. The 1991 season saw DePaul earn its sixth straight 20-win season, a national ranking, and a berth in the NCAA tournament. Joey Meyer, along with assistant coaches Ken Burmeister, Robert Collins, Jay Goddard, and Rich Kalimas, took a blend of young talent and experienced players and molded them into a machine that rolled to a 20-9 record, including victories in 12 of their last 14 games. DePaul began the season winning its first 4 games in convincing fashion. The Blue Demons defeated Hartford, Florida International, Pepperdine, and Illinois State by an average of over 25 points per game. The Blue Demons brought a 4-1 record into the Horizon on December 15th to take on the 6th-ranked Bruins of UCLA. In a nationally televised contest, DePaul, led by David Booth, let the nation know that it was a team to be reckoned with.
Daughrity, jump shot. No, Booth! David Booth! Beat him on the baseline and scored into the foul. David Booth. David looking for 2. Lean in, got it, and a foul. A career high.
David Booth poured in a career-high 40 points against the Bruins, and DePaul, despite falling 2 points short of victory, proved it could play with any team in the country. A 6'7" junior forward, David Booth would go on to lead DePaul in both scoring and rebounding in 1990-91 and earned postseason All-American honors. He led DePaul in scoring in 15 games and was the top rebounder in 12. Booth finished the season tied for 5th on the school's all-time scoring list. Stephen Howard turned in an outstanding junior year as well. Howard finished the season as DePaul's second leading scorer and rebounder, and at one stretch of the season scored over 20 points in 4 straight games. An excellent student, Howard was named a GTE first-team academic All-American in 1991. Near mid-season, DePaul, with a record of 10-7, reached a critical point. The Marquette Warriors and the Bradley Center in Milwaukee had always been a deadly combination for the Blue Demons, but in late January 1991, DePaul wrote a new chapter in this saga, utilizing a second-half explosion that may have propelled the Blue Demons for the rest of the year.
Booth's lean-in shot is too hard. He got his own rebound and scored. The Blue Demons on a 9-0 run. Blue Demons have a break. Davis, score it. The Blue Demons have scored 15 points in a row. Curtis Price scored it for the Blue Demons. 17 points in a row for DePaul, and they lead it by 15. Booth got it and sent him up to the free throw line. That's 21 points in a row for DePaul.
DePaul blew open what had been a close contest with a 22-0 run and destroyed Marquette 84-56 in front of a crowd of over 13,000. Walk-ons Bill Burns and John Newsome played and scored career highs as DePaul won its 11th game of the season.
No, it's really hard to pick out any specific moment during the season, but if you had to pick one, I guess you'd have to pick Marquette. I think we were playing fairly well and it was really tight, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we scored 22 straight points, and I think it just gave our team an awful lot of confidence. They just believed that they could get things done, and a big win on the road against a team that we really struggled with at home. You just never know when things are going to turn around, and to say at the beginning of the season or even during that game that we were going to score 22 points, I don't know if I've ever done that, or Coach Ray has ever had a team that scored 22 straight points. So it just really gave our team a real confidence to go on the rest of the season.
A big part of DePaul's success in 1991 was the return of Curtis Price and Brad Niemann. Both players missed the previous season due to injury, but both returned in 1991, and their presence was unmistakable.
And the Demons come back down. Niemann pulls up the 3.
Here we go, their example. Oh my, Curtis Price.
Brad Niemann holds every DePaul record for three-point shooting and once again finished 1991 as the team's top long-range marksman. Niemann was deadly from the free throw line as well, missing only 1 shot the entire year. While Brad Niemann was Mr. Outside, Curtis Price was no doubt Mr. Inside. Price, despite being only 6'6", finished 3rd on the team in rebounding and 4th on the team in dunks in 1991. Price also had his career high in points in 1991, scoring 17 against Loyola at the Horizon. After the Marquette victory, DePaul traveled to take on another old nemesis, the Georgetown Hoyas. In his 6 years as head coach, Joey Meyer had never beaten Georgetown, but on February 3rd, a national television audience saw all that come to an abrupt end.
To Stern. I think
think they can get it.
Led by David Booth's 22 points and a solid effort by seniors Melvon Foster and Kevin Holland, DePaul shocked the Hoyas 72-63. The Georgetown jinx was over, and the Blue Demons had yet another victory.
There's no doubt it a lot for our team. The Marquette game gave us some confidence to believe that we could get it done. But since I've been coaching at DePaul, we have never beaten Georgetown. So we've gone 6 years in a row without beating them, and then to go ahead and finally get them, I just think was tremendous. I think the other thing is it was national TV, so the country, I've gotten more. If anybody talks to me around the country about one game, they always talk to me about Georgetown because that was on national TV, and more people saw that game than probably anybody we played all year. So I think the credibility of beating the team with Mutombo and Mourning just really gave the country a perception that, hey, this team is going to be a tournament team and is really a pretty good basketball team.
Making a tremendous impact on the Blue Demons in 1990-91 were a pair of junior college transfers. Jeff Stern and Joe Daughrity finished the year in the starting lineup, and both were instrumental in DePaul's late-season surge. Jeff Stern was an absolute defensive force on the inside. The big man led DePaul with 61 blocks, including 7 against the University of Texas. For that performance in his home state, Stern was selected Chevrolet Player of the Game. Joe Daughrity took over the point guard duties in late January, and it was then that DePaul turned on the afterburners. Joe Daughrity showed exceptional quickness and an uncanny ability to find the open man. Joe D led the Blue Demons in assists in 1991 and proved to be a winner as DePaul rolled up a 14-3 record with him in the starting lineup.
The Blue Demons and the Red Men, John, and this really is a critical game for DePaul, not only to get that victory total up, but this is a very strong team they're playing, and the NCAA pays a lot of attention to that kind of thing.
DePaul faced a major late-season test in March when the nationally ranked Red Men of St. John's came to the horizon. The Blue Demons, though, were unimpressed, and behind 27 points by David Booth and 18 by Stephen Howard, DePaul cruised to a 79-69 victory. That win put DePaul back in the nation's top 25, where they would stay for the remainder of the season. Terry Davis and Chuck Murphy were once again valuable contributors in 1990-91. Davis finished the year as DePaul's third leading scorer, while Murphy was the team's second-best three-point shooter. Terry Davis had a splendid sophomore season. Davis scored in double figures 12 times, including a career-high 28-point effort against Texas. Davis, a starter in 25 games in 1991, is on pace to score over 1,000 points in his career. Chuck Murphy led DePaul in scoring twice in 1991, including a 21-point night against Florida International. Murphy finished 1991 second on DePaul's all-time three-point shooting list. Mike Ravizee was the team's lone freshman in 1990-91, and the rookie from Birmingham, Alabama saw action in 16 games. Ravizee earned a start against Oklahoma State, and in a February game against Loyola, Ravizee came off the bench to score 7 points and grab 7 rebounds.
A capacity crowd on hand at the Rosemont Horizon tonight for the season finale. Notre Dame and DePaul here at the Rosemont Horizon.
In what is becoming a season-ending tradition, DePaul hosted the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the regular season finale at the Horizon. A DePaul victory is also becoming part of that tradition as well. DePaul, behind Stephen Howard's 17 points, won 80-56 to earn their 20th victory of the season. The game was the final home game for senior co-captains Melvon Foster and Kevin Holland, as both players said goodbye to a sellout crowd of over 17,000. Melvon Foster finished his career as a Blue Demon ranked in the top 10 in both assists and steals, while Kevin Holland concluded his 5-year career as a player who saw DePaul win 111 games. Holland finished this season with 736 career points. Despite these numbers, it was the intangibles that these two leaders brought with them onto the floor that made them so valuable.
I think both of them are real credit to the university and their attitude and how hard they work, and I think they really represented DePaul well and will be missed by, I'm sure, by the coaches and the fans.
I guess I finally realized that it was finally coming to an end. In a way, I was glad, and then another way, you know, I was sad with some of my friends and stuff. You know I missed them. The things that you most remember about your senior year, that what really makes it exciting. And by being an athlete here at DePaul, things go so quickly that you try to remember them all.
These are the days of the endless summer. These are the days, the time is now. There is no past, there's only future. There's only here is only now. Oh, your smiling face, your gracious presence, are the Father's spring, a kindling grass, are the radiant heart, you're the song of glory, cry freedom in the night. These are the days by the sparkling river, His timely grace and our treasured faith. This is the love of the one magician. Turn the water into wine.
After that Notre Dame victory, the Blue Demons achieved a season-long goal when the NCAA tournament extended DePaul an invitation to their 64-team postseason party. It was the 7th time in the last 8 seasons that DePaul received an NCAA tournament bid.
People were doubting us, but we put it all together, and you know, I guess you wouldn't say it was a comeback, but you know, we made it to the tournament, and that was one of our objectives, was to get into the tournament, and we accomplished that.